So in this part of the course, we're going to see the present perfect. And to tell you the truth, I think the present perfect is one of the easiest tenses in Spanish because the same way, like in English, we have the verb have plus the past participle, it's the same thing. So once you learn the conjugation of the verb haber, in this case, is the auxiliary verb that I've mentioned throughout this course. Haber, once you know the conjugation and the endings for the AR and the ER verbs, then you can do it. You can conjugate the verb easily, except obviously the irregular past participle, which we're going to see throughout this course. So for the AR verbs, we're going to conjugate haber and we add the other verb with ado. If the verb ends in ER or IR, we're going to use haber plus ido. What do I mean by that? So let's say, for example, we have the verb haber, which is the auxiliary verb have, no? In English. This is like saying have. Yo he, tú has, él, ella, usted ha, nosotros hemos, ellos, ellas, ustedes han. So this is just an auxiliary verb. It just means like have, no? In English. If the verb ends in AR, like bailar, which means to dance, we just take off the AR and we add ado, bailado. Yo he bailado. I have danced. Tú has comido. The verb is comer. It ends in ER, so we take off the ER and we add IDO, ido. Tú has comido means you have eaten. Él, ella, usted ha escuchado. The verb is escuchar, which means to listen. It ends in AR, so we take off the AR and we add ado. Escuchado. It means he, she, it has listened. No, nosotros hemos vivido. The verb is vivir. It ends in IR, so we take off the IR and we add ido. This is saying we have lived. Ellos, ellas, ustedes han. No. Ellos, ellas, ustedes han salido. El verbo es salir. It ends in IR. Salir means to leave. So we take off the IR and we add ido, salido. It's saying they have left. So this is how we would conjugate the present perfect in Spanish. The auxiliary verb haber, which would be like have, and the past participle of the AR, IR, or ER verbs. Very good. Obviously, the same way in English we have irregular participles, the same thing occurs in Spanish. So let's say, for example, in English we have eat, ate, eaten. So that eaten is considered irregular, okay? Because for the regular words, we would just add ed, but eaten is considered irregular. So the same thing happens in Spanish. The irregular participles are they operate differently as well. So I'm gonna have to show you a few examples, the most common ones. Escribir means to write, but the past participle becomes escrito. You might hear like Spanish learners say escribido, but that's because they're following the rule, no, of the ido. But since it's irregular, we don't say escribido, we say escrito. Ver, we don't say verido, we say visto. Devolver, we're not gonna say devolvido, we're gonna say devuelto. Abrir, we're going to say abierto. Romper, we're going to say roto. Yes, this one changes a lot. Romper is not rompido, because you might hear students say rompido, or you might make the mistake, but it is roto. It's not rompido, okay? Very good. So these are some irregular verbs, obviously on the copies on the exercise that I have I will attach to this course, you will see more examples where you can practice the irregular participle that we use to form the present perfect in English. Awesome. So we will move on with the next part of this course in a moment.